Hi guys, a very quick vlog just to say I wish all of you an incredibly happy New Year's Eve tomorrow, and I wish you every success and happiness for the start of 2018. My journey this year has been fraught with challenges and obstacles, all of which I've somehow, despite the odds, managed to overcome. 2017 has been, to quote the Queen, my annus horribilis. It has been one of the most testing and trying periods of my adult life. It's been incredible, to be honest, and the fact that I'm sat here now with such a positive, happy outlook really is surprising to me, to be honest, and to many people around me. I mean, 2017 got off to a pretty rocky start when my coach dropped me 12 weeks out from Pure Elite in April because a couple of dodgy progress photographs suggested my physique was atrocious and I wouldn't be ready for stage. Of course, the experienced coach that he proclaimed to be was wrong, and I not only went on to be crowned UK Body Transformation Champion, but I also came third in two other categories, the over 35s fittest and international model. Again, proving my assertion that I make very often, that despite being surrounded by lots of experts, very few of them are ever bloody right. April for me was a hugely important positive milestone because it gave me the opportunity to consign fat weighing very much to my past, an important part of my past, but very much he would no longer be making appearance. Fat weighing was long gone into the annals of history. 1st of April was that sort of turning point really, after the culmination of 4 years of sheer hard slog and effort, from when I transformed from 135 kilo obese thing to a fitness competitor. And despite the journey of having to lose over 56 kilos of weight, and halfway across that journey having my spine severely injured in an accident, resulting in loss of movement in my legs and a prognosis at the time that suggested I'd never return to the gym. So that really was a very emotional, a very happy and a very positive turning point. And then things seemed to go downhill from April, unfortunately. My friend at the time, who was coaching me, who took over coaching me at the last minute, wasn't a prep coach, and had decided that he couldn't get me to the next stage of my journey, which was very honourable of him. And I sought a new coaching partnership. Unfortunately, I never was able to sort of commit to that coaching partnership at the time because of a number of issues outside of my control. First of which was a massive fraud, which almost wrote me off completely, and then a series of health scares and challenges, the most serious of which was when I collapsed in early June whilst walking over Exmoor as a result of a lump in my head exerting significant pressure on my brain, which caused me to collapse and again lose temporary mobility. I think 2.5 weeks in hospital and a further 2 weeks recovering before I was able to get back into the gym. I was only in the gym again for 10 days before I had to go back into hospital for surgery to have the lump removed. As many of you know who follow me on social media, that surgery was terribly botched, leading to the stitches on the back of my head. I mean, it was 4.5 hour operation, which went wrong. The wound on the back of my head got severely infected and all of the stitches split open, leading to an open wound having to remain on my head, which had to heal from the inside out over the course of 9 to 10 weeks. That 9 to 10 week period was awful for me because I couldn't go into the gym at all. I had to avoid getting as sweaty as possible, raising my temperature for fear of infection. So really I was pretty immobile for 9 or 10 weeks, and that for me was an absolute nightmare. It was like a living hell. So my dreams of competing in this October's Pure Elite Pro Championships had to be canned and temporarily suspended until next year. At the same time, in August, my sister was taken seriously ill, life-threateningly so. She's fortunately made a remarkably fast recovery. She continues to do so, which is fantastic news. And my grandmother, my beloved grandmother, who I was incredibly close to, sadly passed away after a routine operation sadly went very wrong. She suffered a massive heart attack in August and we had to bury her in September. So all in all, it's been an atrocious few months and few years. But the reverse of that was Used the opportunity to start a new project up here in Manchester to also think about whether I wanted to compete again. Whether I should have ought to just sort of can the idea. Almost, I turned 40 next year. Was I too old to be starting out on this fitness competing journey? And the conclusion I came to was absolutely not. Absolutely not. Age is no barrier at all, to be honest. Certainly isn't in my case. So I set about thinking, well, how do I maximise my progress? How do I gain as quick as I can the physique that I need to deserve the pro title that I was awarded in April? And the answer to that was, I can't do an online remote coaching. It doesn't work for me. I need something more intensive and personalised. I need to be able to check in when I've got the time to do it, at a time that's convenient to me. I need to have one-to-one training to maximise, to make sure that I maintain the intensity and the tempo, and that I'm working on the areas of weakness as well as maximising my strengths. And I do need support with nutrition and also that sort of sports psychology, to be honest. So I've got a great team around me at the moment. I have one-to-one training 7 days a week, which is the level of intensity that I want. The progress that we're making in the gym surprises not only me, but it's surprising everybody who's watching and part of that journey. And then likewise now I've got great nutrition and sports psychology support in the background as well, which is really making things happen that I never thought possible, and certainly making sure that I will arrive on stage as a pro in April with the right mindset to win, which is fantastic. So there's an awful lot to do. We've effectively tried to constrain a year's worth of training and progress into just over 6 months. It'll be interesting to see what the results are in April. Things are going in the right direction at the moment, but we're very much looking forward to the future. I mean, my message to everybody who follows me, I mean, some people are probably bored with listening to my voice by now, but for those who do listen and who do support me, thank you, it means the world. But really this year has taught me that providing you've got the resolve and the determination, and that you always know that things aren't always going to remain bad, that there is always light at the end of a tunnel, there is always a way out, there's always a way through, there's always a way over something. And as long as you keep that thought at the back of your head, no matter how terrible things feel, or no matter how devastating things are for that particular moment in time, they won't always be that way, and things always do come around to becoming quite positive in the end. It might take a while to get there, but they will get there. I finished this year in a much better position than I started. I finished this year looking forward to 2018, but having looked back on not only this year, but the last 4 or 5 since my fitness journey started, and thinking, yeah, we still keep confounding the critics, we still keep proving the experts wrong, we still are making progress, we're still enjoying it, we're still doing all the things that we thought we would never be doing. So why not carry on, and why not keep pushing those boundaries just to see how far they are, just to see how far you can go, I can go. So that's that really. So my message is a fairly simple one. Have a great new year. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all the private messages. Thank you for the criticism. Thank you to the numpties that still keep giving me missed calls, even though we now know who they are. You are surprisingly good at motivating me and pushing me forward. So thank you. I hope you all have a safe, happy, fantastic celebration tomorrow night. And I can't wait to see all of you again in 2018.